There we go. All right, welcome everyone to our castor oil class. I am really excited about this class. Castor oil is a new product that doTERRA came out with in September. And prior to that, I'm going to be full disclosure, full honesty, is that I hadn't really used castor oil that much. I had some in my house that last winter, I like to walk outside, and how many of you get like really dry winter skin? Especially on my face, because I could cover most of the skin on my face when I would go for walks, but not my skin. And so I had just gotten some castor oil on Amazon because I had heard that it was really good for hydration and moisturizing. And I was just basically putting it on my face straight, and it really helped me with my winter skin. And so when doTERRA came out with this, I knew that they were going to be coming out with it for a while. I was really excited to dive into it more about why we're using it, how to use it, and how it can help with our hormones, our nervous system regulation, and a whole host of other things that we might have going on in our health. And so today what I want to do is I want to make this interactive, of course. And so if you have questions, make sure you're putting them in the chat. If you're watching this later on as a recording, you should be able to comment under the video. I will get a notification of your comment. So if you have questions, I'm going to be going back in and answering those questions for you. I put together something super fun, but you got to wait until the end because I do have some prizes I'm going to be giving out for all of you that are participating. And don't worry if you could not attend this live. I totally get it. We all have busy lives. There's still going to be a way for you to participate in all of the prizes. And so make sure you stay till the end where I'm going to share a little bit more about that. But first up, I want everybody to come into the chat and ask, I want you to just share with me, are you using castor oil? Do you have it in your home? Have you ordered the doTERRA castor oil, or any burning questions you have on castor oil? I also, just a couple of other things, I also have dropped a link in the chat to the castor oil ebook. This will also be found in the recording when I send out the email, all of those good things. I think I already also sent it when you registered for this event. It looks like this. It's the castor oil ebook. A lot of the true benefits are going to be coming from that ebook. And so if you have questions, if you need a reference for something, that's going to be a really great resource, because the reality is people remember 7 to 10% of what you say during a workshop. And so get your notebooks out, but I also want to make sure you have resources to tap back into so that you can, have more knowledge and learn more about this phenomenal product. Okay. So, but what we're going to do as we get started is I'm going to wait for, I'm going to see you guys, what you're all coming into the chat with, of what you want to learn. But we're not actually going to start with talking about castor oil, because I want to give you a little bit of a background of why castor oil and why some of the products that we're using in our health make such a big difference, especially because many of you that I'm talking to, you're women, you are in that 35 plus age range where it's like perimenopause, menopause, we're dealing with hormones. And sometimes I think we get to the age of 40 and we're like, oh my gosh, my body's given up on me, and I'm 40 years old and I'm just going to blame my hormones for everything. And I don't think that that should be the case for all of us, because I believe sometimes it's just we have 40 years of not really truly understanding how to take care of our bodies as a female, right? So we've got all these years that have kind of been building up of us, maybe not treating our bodies in the way our bodies were designed to be treated. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Like I said, I've got notes, which is really rare for me. I usually don't make notes. I'm so proud of myself for making notes and, actually being dressed 5 minutes before the workshop today. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about, castor oil. And the first thing I want you to know is we're going to go back to some old school basics that I've taught many times, but maybe you're new and you've never heard this from me before, or maybe you're not quite sure how this relates to castor oil. Okay. So when we're looking at the body and all of the concerns we might have going on in the body, there are basically 3 root causes of disease in the body, right? There's 3 root causes for all of the illness that's going on in the world. And so whatever your health concerns are, I know some people were like, hey, I have debilitating arthritis. I have some fibromyalgia going on. I have this, I have like extreme hormones. I've only had 3 periods in the last year. Whatever we have going on, there's usually 3 root concerns or three root issues of where these concerns are coming from, okay? And those concerns are our nutritional deficiency. We are a country that is overfed but undernourished. And that's not something I'm going to really dive into today, but I do have some other workshops and courses and webinars that you can listen to. So if that's something you want to dive into a little bit more, this is why I'm so passionate about the VMG and the foundational wellness bundle, because a lot of us are just missing nutrients in our diet. And once we can fill in those foundations with nutrients, we are going to get some really great results in our health. I've had several women this year that have gotten their hormones back on track, their menstrual cycles back on track after years of not having menstrual cycles, simply because we focused in on foundational wellness. We didn't do anything crazy with the hormones. We didn't start using castor oil. We didn't start doing anything crazy. We just focused in on the foundations. And so that is the number one root cause of disease in the body, is when our body doesn't have what it needs to function, our body cannot thrive. And so many times we're looking for all of these answers outside of ourselves. We're looking for complicated protocols. We're looking for, things that are, wait, how many of you feel sometimes like wellness is really complicated? Like taking care of your body is like, why are we making this so darn complicated? I got to count the macros. I got to do this. I got to get my 10,000 steps. I should use a Vibe plate. Got to put that red light on my face. Like, have you seen the funny reels on Instagram where the ladies are like standing there on their Vibe plate with like a million different things all over their bodies, making wellness so complicated? And I want you to know that I do not want wellness to be complicated for you. I want to make this simple. And many times if we understand the basics, we can make it simple. Okay, so we've got root causes. Number one, nutritional deficiencies. Root cause number two is inflammation in the body, which comes from the nutritional deficiencies. And number three, which is going to be our toxic overload in the body. Okay. And so when we start to talk about castor oil, we start to talk about hormones, we start to talk about our nervous system, we want to really focus in on our toxic overload, which is really leading to a lot of inflammation in our body. Okay. And so when we're thinking about toxic overload, really, there are a couple of different ways in which we can have toxic overload. Okay. So toxic overload, we're like, where is toxic overload coming from and what can I do about it? Well, toxic overload comes from the products that we are using on our bodies. Okay. So that's going to come from those products we're using on our bodies, our beauty products, like our shampoos, our conditioners, our hairsprays, our makeup, our scentsies that we might have around the house, our candles, those kinds of things are bringing into our body this toxic overload. Okay. The other thing that we also have to look at, and this is where castor oil can kind of come in, and we're going to talk a lot more about this, is that we can use castor oil to create a lot of non-toxic beauty options, right? So lash serum and scalp massage, like helping your hair grow. You can use it for glowing skin. You can use it for, moisturizers, things like that. So that's where castor oil is going to come in on the beauty side. Now, there's a second way we can get toxins in that a lot of people don't talk about. And the second way in which we're getting toxins into our bodies is our emotional areas, right? Emotional and energetic, right? And so our body actually stores emotions in it. And if we don't know how to process through our emotions, they become toxic in our body, right? We're holding on to them and they become toxic. And so for right now, I just want you to understand that toxic overload can come from these very physical things, the processed foods we're eating, especially the ultra processed, the seed oils, the unclean water, the diet cokes, the the sugary drinks, all of those different kinds of things, the beauty products, but it's also coming from maybe some emotions that we're not processing through. Okay. So one of the benefits of castor oil is the castor oil's ability to help us with our liver and our digestion. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now is I've got my straw and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen, see if I can make sure I kept this open. And can you all see this picture of the girl? Okay. You can see the picture of the girl. So there are several different filtering organs in the body. And our body was designed with these built-in filtering organs to help us cleanse out the toxins from our bodies, right? Our bodies are super smart, and we have built-in ways to cleanse out some of these toxins that are coming in from the outside, because sometimes we can't control all the toxins. But what's happened in today's modern world is that we've gotten an inundation of toxins in our body, right? And our body can't keep up with filtering them all out. So we need to be able to help our body a little bit with that. Now, there are a couple different filtering organs. The skin is a very large filtering organ. It's one of the largest filtering organs of the body. The lungs are a filtering organ. And so if you're getting a lot of respiratory stuff coming up, a lot of respiratory distress, we can't just look at, oh, I need something for my allergies or my asthma or, my sinus infections or things like that. We also have to look at those toxins that are coming into our airways, which is where like the candles, the air fresheners, those kinds of things come in. So we've got our lungs, we've got our skin, we also have the liver. Okay, so a lot of times we hear that the liver is king because of all of the functions in the body that the liver helps us process through. The liver helps process through a lot of these toxins, but it's not the only filtering organ. I think sometimes we focus too much on the liver, which we are going to today, but we also have to understand our digestive system is a filtering organ. It's one of the primary filtering organs. Our urinary tract is a filtering organ. That's another primary filtering organ. So if our digestion isn't working, if we're not urinating the right way and filtering things out through the urinary tract, that liver is going to have to take over the work, right? Or the skin has to take over the work, or the lungs have to take over the work. Okay. And so what we need to do is figure out, okay, well, how is this all playing a role and what do I do about it? Okay, so now we want to look at the liver channel, and this is where it's especially important to pay attention and to understand the role of the liver channel and women's hormones. Okay, so I want you to look at this cute girl standing here. And, everybody looks at the body differently. A doctor looks at the different organs, a chiropractor looks at the spine to adjust it. And in Chinese medicine, we look at the meridians of the body. And these are the different channels, they call them channels, that are flowing through the body. And today we're not going into deep dive into Chinese medicine. We're just going to simply look at the liver channel, because when I began to understand the liver channel, my hormones got a lot more balanced and a lot more regulated, right? And so did my nervous system. And so I want you to look at this channel. This is the liver channel, and it starts at the big toe, and it kind of goes up, and it goes by the ankles, and it comes up. And do you see how it goes, this green line right here? It goes through the hips right here. But what else is this going through? This is going through the fallopian tubes and the reproductive organs of a woman's body, right? And then it comes up through the liver. And if we kept going with this, if we kept going all the way up, it would come up through here. It would come up through the shoulders. It would come up through the back of the neck and up into the occipital bone, which is right here. And if I stand up and show you, which I'm going to try to do this on my screen, it's just kind of going like this. It's coming up like this. Coming up here through the reproductive organs, up through the liver, up and around and up into the occipitals. Okay, so my question is for you: how many of you have ever had, when you're menstruating, you've ever had headaches that are more up here in the back of your head? How many of you as women have had hip pain? How many of you as women, I asked somebody yesterday, I think she has to join the recording, but I said, hey, what do you really want to know? What's been surfacing lately? And she says, I've got this heel pain and I can't help but think it's related to my hysterectomy. Do you think that she might be correct? Look at this liver channel. It's right by her heel and it's going up to her reproductive organs. Okay. Do you see that? And so sometimes we think that, we're looking for all of these answers outside of ourselves and our bodies over here, like, hey, listen to me. I'm giving you signs that you might not be listening to. And so when we look at our liver is so important to help us with learning about our hormones and to help with hormone balance and regulation, and we can use it to help with digestive issues. How many of you as women have issues with bowels? Either you're not pooping or you're over pooping, right? That can be a sign of hormones being unbalanced, right? I was listening to a podcast one time and the lady had just like light bulb moment. She's like, hey, the majority of women who also have hormone dysregulation and are having troubles in perimenopause and menopause are also women that can't poop. And if we get the poop figured out, if we get the liver channel figured out, the body just automatically will balance itself. But most of us are we're just looking at the physical, and we're getting frustrated with our body because we can't lose weight. We're not sleeping well. We've got horrible migraines when we have a cycle. We've got all these things going on in our body, right? And we get frustrated and then we get angry about it. But we're neglecting. It's almost like we're only looking over here. And that's for a reason. That's because we just haven't been taught this information. But there's this whole piece over here that's the liver channel. Okay. So I want you to think of, okay, so now I have my straw. I'm going to actually get this straw out. Maybe. I found this straw. I didn't have any straw. I never had plastic straws, but I needed a plastic straw for this. Okay. So this is my liver channel. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want you to actually see this. And I don't know. Okay. So here's my liver channel. Okay. It was green, just like the girl in the picture. I did not plan that. And I want my liver channel. I want to be able to blow air through my liver channel, and I want everything to flow down through it. So that means I'm going to have to support my liver, right? So because if I support my liver, the majority of the rest of that channel is going to flow. But here's the thing. It's not just the toxins that we're using and not being able to cleanse our body out that is affecting this. Remember when I said we got to also look at the energetic and the emotional piece because our toxins are coming from that? Guess what emotions the liver holds? Are y'all ready for this? Fear, anger, control, frustration. Fear, anger, control, frustration. Are light bulbs going off right now? Are you guys like tingling in the head? So we're like over here, like, I'm going to do a liver cleanse. I'm going to do a liver detox, right? And it's like this cool thing to do a 21-day liver detox. Guess what? It's all a bunch of BS to grab your money. It doesn't do anything. Actually, most of you, your bodies aren't. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to do this liver detox, and then afterwards you're like, I feel like shit and nothing happened. Well, it's because it didn't work, because we're only looking at this little thing. The liver cannot like cleanse itself out in 21 days. This is a process. This is a journey. Okay. And we have to look at both. I follow a girl on Instagram. I love her to death. Her name is Sinclair Kennelly. I think her name is how you say it. Anyway, she is like the queen of detox. And she's like, if your body, if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, it doesn't matter how much liver work you do, how much detox work you do, you're never going to find true healing. Right? Which means nervous system is kind of like, right? You're kind of like, shaking, right? Shaking around. And your body's like, oh, freaking out. Okay, so I want to ask you something. Let's go through this. Fear, anger, control, frustration. Let's look at frustration and control, because for women, this seems to be the place where we need to focus the most. How many of you are frustrated with your bodies right now? How many of you are like pissed off and frustrated? You feel like you're doing everything and something isn't clicking. So you're frustrated. Do you think that's helping the liver channel or hindering it? It's helping it. How many of you are trying to control everything in your wellness to just make it work? If I just try this one more thing, if I just restrict my calories to 1,000 calories a day, I'm going to lose weight. If I just exercise more, if I just get more steps in, if I just try this new thing, If I just start giving myself the shot or whatever, which is, you get to decide what's best for you. But I think sometimes we go to these, we're like seeking because we're not trusting that our body was designed in this beautiful way. And when we understand how to care for her and to care for her from the space of not from frustration, but I'm doing these things because I love my body. I'm doing these things not because I'm frustrated, but because I love my body and I understand that healing is a journey. Right? Because control means we have to surrender and we have to trust our body. And most of us, especially when it comes to our hormones, right? We're just like, I hate my period. I hate menopause. I hate perimenopause. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do anything I can do to just get through this. What if perimenopause and menopause is your superpowers awakening? It's your wisdom activating. That's what I believe. It's a part of the cycle. It's a part of being a woman. And so it's like, okay, if I continue to look at my body as like, I'm trying to control everything, every morsel I put in my mouth, everything I do, or maybe you're just like, F the control and I'm just going to eat all the Oreo cookies. And I'm going to treat my body like shit because I'm so frustrated with her. Right? That is putting a bunch of, this straw is not working. That is putting a bunch of knots in this straw. I want you to think if the straw analogy is not what you need it to be, maybe you're thinking about like a hose, if you got a hose outside and it gets a kink in it and you're trying to water your flowers and it doesn't work and you're like red in the face. It's not working. And so what we need to do is we need to shift and understand all the sides of the picture. And I can tell you right now, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to be, you told me this wasn't going to be complicated, Katie, and you're making this complicated. No, I'm bringing awareness. Because a lot of times when we have the awareness, then we can do something about it. But if we're walking around going, oh my gosh, it's just all about my healing is only this, but we haven't looked at the other side of the puzzle, we don't have the awareness we need to bring it together and come in together like this. So I want you to ask yourself, what are you frustrated about in your wellness? And just write those things down. You don't have to share it. If you want to share it in the chat, you can. Or you can just write those down. Get them out of you. Get them out of you and then go burn that piece of paper. What are you trying to control in your life? And a lot of times the control isn't necessarily in our wellness. It might be we're trying to control everything our kids are doing. I was told last night by my 18-year-old I was being a helicopter mom, because I was trying to help him with a scholarship application. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be a helicopter mom. If you want to submit that application as is, you just go ahead and do that. You're not going to get any scholarships, dude. What are we trying to control? And a lot of times it can be subtle. And start to look at those emotions. And guess what? I'm going to show you how to use castor oil and then use some essential oils to come together. So we're not just looking, that's what I love about essential oils. That's what I love about the products that doTERRA has to offer. And I know most of you are already part of doTERRA. There's some of you that are going to watch this that aren't, but it's because we're blending. We're not just looking at the physical. We're also looking at the emotional. And when we learn how to blend them together, when we bring this awareness, we learn, that's where we get our true body healing. When we look at both of them together. How many of you get neck pain right here? Right. Do you know what's really good for that? Deep Blue. Deep Blue is the oil of surrender. So on the physical side, it's awesome, right? I just had a testimony from a lady this morning that, her sister had this pain and the doctor couldn't figure it out. She started using some Deep Blue and her pain went away. So we've got, but Deep Blue also on the emotional side, it has wintergreen in it, and wintergreen is that oil of surrender. And it's on the liver channel, usually where our neck hurts, right? And so it's that surrender that I cannot control everything. It's that surrender. So we trust the process of healing with our body, the process of life, the flow of life. I mean, and if you want to get really wild and crazy and help your liver, you can put some cilantro on it. That's Dina's favorite. I'm not going to be putting cilantro on. Cilantro is like the queen of the oil of helping us release control. It's also on the toxin side. It's really, really, really great for cleansing heavy metals, which are toxins that are in our body. Okay. So, all right. So now we understand. Are you seeing like a little bit more of a picture? Are you guys getting any aha moments? Light bulbs. Yep. Light bulbs. Susan asked if it's the liver channel only on the right side. No, it's on both, but the liver is really, we want to focus on the right side. Okay. Usually on the hormonal side, we're going to look at the right, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to have it on either side too. Okay. So now you're like, how are we going to use their castor oil for this? Why would we use castor oil? And this is where I'm just going to pull some little facts from the ebook, because, castor oil has been used for centuries. I mean, the queens, it comes from Egypt. It's like they've been using castor oil for a really long time, just like essential oils, thousands of years. I mean, Mary and the band of women that traveled with Jesus were probably using some castor oil with their oil of nard. Those anointing priestesses were going all around anointing people with some castor oil. Right? That's what they were doing. Okay, so there's something in castor oil, and I'm probably not going to say the word right, but it's called ricnolic acid. Did I say it right, Dina? Dina's like, probably not. Anyway, it's in the castor oil ebook. And this is the only, this acid, this science behind the castor oil, it's only found in this plant, right? It's only found in this. And what it shows in all of this research that they've done is it improves the skin barrier of hydration, right? So like, when you put on a lotion and like 5 minutes later, you don't feel hydrated, or you've got those lotions that you're using over and over and over again because our skin isn't absorbing them in the same way. They're not creating a barrier. And so what castor oil does is it can create a barrier. Okay, it's really great at creating barriers. So if you think of like skincare, things like that, and then when we pair it with some of our beautiful essential oils, like you can either use it plain or you can use it with essential oils, you're going to find what works for you. And I'm going to show you what I've been doing, what I like. And so what it's going to do is it's going to kind of create this barrier. And sometimes also when we add the oils, it's going to help the oils stay and permeate into the skin membranes a little bit longer for more longevity and more effective absorption into the skin. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of castor oil. It also is really great at calming, like helping with our nervous system, and especially when we apply it to the belly button. Okay, so we have a lot of different nerve endings in the belly button. So when we're applying essential oils there, or just the castor oil, it's going to give us some benefits of helping calm that nervous system. And when our nervous system is regulated, remember what I said, like when our nervous system is regulated, we're also able to heal in a different way. If our body's constantly up in this state of fight or flight, I mean, have you ever tried to talk to a little kid that's throwing a tantrum and they're like in the throes of a tantrum? Is there any reasoning with them if they're in hysteria? No, there's no reasoning with them. Sometimes you just gotta let them go. You gotta let them be. That's how our nervous system is. If our body is constantly up like this, and we're on edge about everything, we're trying to control everything, we're frustrated, our body doesn't feel safe to heal. It doesn't feel safe. And so putting those oils in the belly button can help with the nervous system. And there's other oils too. You're going to get a link to my DIY guide, and there's a cortisol blend in there that is also really good for nervous system. And that cortisol blend is Shinrin-yoku, citrus bloom, magnolia, adaptive. These are all oils that are really, really beautiful for our cortisol, which in turn helps with nervous system regulation, which in turn will help our body relax, which in turn helps our nervous system. It helps our liver, which again then leads to our hormones being happy. Do you see? It's like this cycle, right? So if we're just focusing in on this little tiny thing, we're not going to get the results. We're going to continue to stay frustrated. We're going to stay in this loop. this loop that keeps us feeling like we're in the hamster wheel. But what if we just add in one more tool? Right? We just add in something that's really fun and add in another tool. Okay. So you can use them for gentle. They're also going to help when we add them with hormone supporting oils. It's going to help with hormones. It's just so many beautiful ways to use it. So I'm going to let you go through all of the benefits in the ebook, because I know what you all really want is, how do I use the crap, right? Like, I've got this bottle. I know you're like, hey, I understand the liver channel. I understand that it's really awesome, but how am I going to use it? Is that what you guys want to know? Okay, like, let me teach you how to use it. Okay, so let's start off with some beauty things on how to use it in beauty regimens. There are so many recipes out there. Like, I don't have time to go through all the recipes that there are out there, okay? But I'm going to show you. Okay, so doTERRA had these really, really cool roller bottles at convention, and I was able to snag one. They're coming back, but we don't have them now, so you're just going to have to go on Amazon and get one. This is a 50 ml roller bottle, okay? And this is becoming one of my favorites. And so what I did is I took the castor oil, okay, and I put it in the roller bottle. There is nothing else in this roller bottle. This is only castor oil, okay, just castor oil. And so how I'm using this, and oh, one of the other things I was going to share is that we also have to remember, just like everything in doTERRA, the doTERRA castor oil is going to be far superior than any other castor oil that you're going to see out on the market, right? That's why it took them for a while to come up with it, because the same standards that we have for those essential oils, where we're making sure they don't have toxins in them, they're pure, they're coming from the right sourcing, that it's a sustainable source. We're going to carry that over to all the products, which also comes to the castor oil doTERRA has, which I have found it's not quite as sticky as some of the other ones that I have used. Have you found that, Dina? That it's not quite as sticky? It's going to go on a little bit better. And even though it's a thicker oil, it's not going to clog your pores. So some of you are like, oh my gosh, it's going to like give me acne. No, you don't have to worry about that. I actually have a glow serum that is in the DIY guide that I'm giving you. And that's what my kids are, my two teenage sons are using for their acne, and it's making their acne better. It's not making it worse. Okay. So how I'm using this one is like lip gloss, just putting it on my lips, just like that. A lot of times at night, after I get done with the rest of my skincare, I put it on my face, or if I'm going to go out this week, it was a little bit cold. If I'm going out in the elements, and I'm going to be using this a lot in the winter, I'm going to put a barrier of protection on my face with the castor oil. Okay. So again, like, I could use other essential oils in it. I like having this one just to be plain. You can take, I had some cool things here. Where did it go? I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. At the end of the day, if you wanted a way to relax yourself for beauty routines after you put that castor oil on, you can also do some gua sha, right? You're getting your gua sha like that. If you guys don't know how to gua sha, just Google a video. Okay, do you see how, like, I actually just posted a recipe in our essential oil place today with a DIY lip gloss. So you could take a 10 ml roller bottle, and you can put the castor oil in it with a couple of other oils. I think it's peppermint to plump your lips. And then you can use that as a lip gloss, right? So lots of ways to use castor oil. Yesterday, my son came home from school. He had a big scrape on the side of his face because he was roughhousing at recess for football. And sometimes my kids are like, hey mom, we don't want to put the oil right on our face right now because this wound is really raw and the essential oils are going to irritate it. He just put the castor oil right on his face. He just took this roller bottle and put it right on his face. Okay. So that's how I'm using this for right now for beauty things. Okay. You can take a dropper bottle and you can make a glow serum. So I have that recipe in the DIY guide. I'm going to put some different oils. Like, I'm going to pair it with yarrow palm. I'm going to pair it with, let me see. I have yarrow palm, blue tansy, frankincense, copaiba, lavender, frankincense, any of those oils that are beautiful for the skin. You can use it on that. Also, you know, ladies, we gotta use it down here too, right? right? You can you can get these empty mascara tubes off of Amazon. You can put a little bit of castor oil in these with some lavender and cedarwood and rosemary, and you can use it for a natural lash boost. Okay. I said I was going to share the recipe. I did not bring the stuff in with me, but the other day, I'm so disappointed. My Beautiful Body Mist, the little pump on it wasn't coming out. Has any of you tried the Beautiful Body Mist? It's like my favorite. I love the Beautiful Body Mist. And the pump wasn't working, but I could feel like it was shaking it. And I'm like, oh, there's some left in here. So what I did is I also had my Yarrow Palm serum. I put the rest of my body mist in the Yarrow Palm. I cut it open, and then I added the castor oil into it. And it is like the most luxurious body oil. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting a squirt of the unscented hand and body lotion to help it go further, with a couple of pumps of that serum, and then using it on my legs and my body when I get out of the shower. Okay. Also, and Dina knows what I'm going to say. I can see her face over there getting gritty. Also, that serum, or just the castor oil straight, is wonderful for vaginal health. So for vaginal dryness, for your labia, for just making sure that we are keeping the girl nice and moisturized, that is going to be a really, really great tool that you can use just simply when you get out of the shower. You can use it as a protective barrier. Okay. And so sometimes we often think like, oh, I just have vaginal dryness. My hormones are disrupted. As we start to go through perimenopause and menopause, sometimes we just choke things up to being normal that we got to live with. Well, I don't believe that we just have to chalk things up to being normal that we have to live with. I think we have solutions, but a lot of the solutions that are out there are full of toxins. And if we're trying to reduce our toxic load, is that going to work? No. So just put some castor oil on. Or if you make that serum with the Yarrow Palm and the castor oil and the body mist, you can use it for that. It can also be a lubrication during intercourse. Okay. So if you're looking for more of a natural option like that, simply just the body mist works as well, but the castor oil is pretty good too. Sharing from experience. Dina, have you tried that one yet? Dina's like, oh yeah. Dina's my girl that's going to talk about this stuff. But this is what we got to talk about as women, right? These are real day-to-day things that we have coming up in our lives. And so these are some solutions that you would have for those concerns, right? So those are a couple of different ways. I've also been using the castor oil, maybe like this on my hands, like dry hands in the winter. I do this and then I'll add in a little hand lotion as well. And so those are just some of those beauty regimens that we're using to reduce our toxic load with DIY beauty. Okay. Now, we're going to move on to how are we going to use it to support our liver? Katie, you've only been talking about your hair and your vagina. How does that help with the liver? So the liver, there's a couple of different ways we can do this. Okay. So there are things called castor oil packs. Okay. Just like this. This is the doTERRA one. I don't have it right now. You can go on Amazon. There's lots of options out there. Okay. Castor oil, even though our castor oil is very absorbent, sometimes it gets a little bit messy and we want to hold it into an area for a long time. Okay. And so how I would use this castor oil pack is there's a couple of different ways. You can pick an essential oil that you want to support your liver a little bit more. Okay, so the one that doTERRA just came out with is Revitazen. So that would be if you're really wanting to help cleanse the liver. But if you're looking more for hormones or things like that, or like maybe period cramping, menstrual cramping, you can add in things like clary calm, marjoram, the clary sage. You can do ylang-ylang, geranium. Those are all beautiful oils to help with hormone support that you can use on your liver or wherever you're applying the castor oil pack. They also have castor oil packs for your tummy. They have them for your eyes. They have them for your knees, because castor oil is also beautiful to help with inflammation in the body. And so if you've got like some joint pain anywhere in your body, the castor oil is shown to be beneficial for that. So they make all different kinds of packs. Find one that you like. Okay. So what I do is I take this And then I go over my liver. So we go up and we take our liver and we go right here. We just kind of rub it all around. I'm not going to put a whole lot on there because it's going to get all over my shirt. And then I take whatever essential oil I want and I apply that essential oil and I rub it into my liver. Okay, whatever essential oil I picked. If you just want to use the castor oil, you can just use the castor oil. So I take whatever oil I want to apply. Then I'm going to take this castor oil pack and I'm going to put it on and I'm going to wrap it around my body. Okay. Oh, wait. I forgot a step. I'm going to take a tablespoon of the castor oil from the bottle. Go like this. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want it all over my shirt, but you're going to get the idea. I'm going to put a little drizzle like that on my pack. So I've rubbed my belly with the oils. I've rubbed it with a little bit of castor oil. And then I'm going to put the pack around me. They say to leave it on for at least 1 hour. And a lot of people like to wear them overnight. Okay. I don't like wearing them overnight. It bugs me. It drives me crazy. Like I don't like that on my skin when I'm sleeping. So a lot of times what I do is I will do it in the morning when I wake up. I put the castor oil pack on while I'm having my coffee, getting the kids off to the bus, and I wear it for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And then I take it off when I'm getting ready to exercise and work out for the day. Okay. And so just how many of you have used a castor oil pack? Yeah, I know Dina has. Anybody else? Okay, so Amanda's saying yes, she has used it. Okay, so that's going to help pull the toxins out of the liver. It's going to help those essential oils that are helping pull the toxins out permeate into the liver and give you that, just giving that liver a little bit of love. And if we're looking at this on the emotional side and we're frustrated and all of those things, I just want you to remember when you do these little routines and these daily rituals with the castor oil, do them from the space of love. I'm not doing this because I'm frustrated with my body and I'm trying to fix something that's broken. I'm doing this because I love my body, right? And sometimes just those little shifts in intention are going to make a really big difference when it comes to how our body is healing, how our body is flowing, and getting this straw to not be this, but that beautiful straw that has the flow in it. Right? Instead of the congested that you can go up and down. Okay, so the second way we can use them is they also make these little patches. See that little patch? Okay, you can get these on Amazon. Go be friends with Amazon. And this patch you put over your belly. Okay, so you can do the same thing. If I was having digestive issues, right, you're not pooping right, sometimes just simply putting castor oil on your belly in your belly button can help. But remember how we said the belly button has all these like neurotransmitters and reflex points in it? You can also do that with oils. Okay, so you might say, okay, I want to cleanse some stuff out. This Revitazine has ginger in it, and this can help with digestion as well. And so what you do is I just kind of lay back and put a little castor oil in there, put the oil in, and then put the little patch around my belly. I don't do this one. I've only done it once because I'm really sensitive to the sticky stuff in stickers, even if it's non-latex. And so it leaves like a ring on my belly and it does not feel comfortable. But I have heard a lot of people have some really, really great results by doing this. They wake up, they feel lighter, they're able to eliminate. And so that's another way that you can use the castor oil pack. Does that answer your question, Susan, where you just put it around your belly?
I'm gonna comment though.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, with your sensitivity, could you put the oil in your belly and then put the castor oil pack over
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Or
You can
even
do it that
belly
way.
and liver?
Yep. You could do that way. So you could, switch it back and forth because usually the pack isn't going to cover both areas at the same time. So you could put them in different spots. You could absolutely do that. Okay. The other way you can do it is you can take like organic flannel pieces and you can just soak them. And this is, I think, what Dina does. You just soak them in like a container, a glass container, and you're soaking them in the castor oil. And then whenever you need to use them, you just take them out and apply them where they need to be applied. And you can apply them to like knee pain, joint pain, like wherever you need that to be. it's really just about playing what works for you, right? And what you feel comfortable with. And like I said, for me, like these little straps are itchy and they drive me crazy. And so like it doesn't usually bother me first thing in the morning, but like to sleep, I tried sleeping with it a couple times and I was like, no. And then it starts cleansing me out because I've worked on detoxing for a while, and so then it makes me have to get up and pee a lot, and so everybody's going to be just a little bit different though. Like you're going to find what your jam, what works for you. Um, you can do it every night. Debbie wanted to know if you can do this every night or how often you do it. You can do it every night, Debbie. If you feel like you have some stuff going on and you're loving the results, you can do it every night. You might want to start out with 3 times a week and then increase from there. A lot of people just say they feel lighter in the morning, and I would agree with that. Like I just feel lighter when I take it off, not in the morning, but like when I'm ready to go for the day, I feel lighter over it. So that's a great question. But that's really how we're using castor oil, right? Like we're going to just kind of play with it, but it's really about, hey, putting it over the liver. It's going to help pull those toxins out. It's going to help with that, the control and the frustration and get it moving because we want to create flow in the body. That's the biggest thing. Our goal should always be to not like pinpoint, like, because a lot of times when we have stuff going on, it's all interconnected. It's all interrelated, right? It's all like put together. And so if we're just looking at one piece or the next, like, okay, so how is my body benefiting? Is how am I creating flow in the body? How am I nourishing my body? How am I supporting my body? How am I supporting the liver? And how can I use castor oil to do that? And how can I pair the castor oil with maybe some essential oils? Okay. Dina, do you have any other tips? You're kind of like the pro on how to use them. Do you have any other tips you want to share with them that I didn't think
Sure.
of?
I don't overcomplicate things. It's
Yeah.
really, I used to use castor oil packs frequently with other castor oil brands because it was very thick and sticky and heavy. And honestly, since the doTERRA castor oil, I don't find a need to use the pack because it doesn't there's not a greasy, heavy feeling. It just absorbs very well into the skin. I will tend to use a castor oil pack if we're dealing with a really heavy, like respiratory congestion, because when we're like only generally I tend to use the pack if I'm using a heating pad to help penetrate those oils into the skin, like my husband with knee pain or a really bad chest congestion or cough. Then I'll use the castor oil pack, but otherwise, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Use it in your belly button, rub it over your liver. It absorbs really nice. Put an old blanket down on your bed or wear a t-shirt that you're not worried about it staining. Otherwise, it just is very different than the castor oil that we've had access to in the past. It's like next level.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Thank you for those tips. Yeah, like just make it easy and have fun playing with it. Just like all of the tools you have in your home with essential oils, there's really no wrong way to use them. I mean, besides putting them in your eyes, that hurts. I mean, just have fun with them. And I do know, like when Dina said about the respiratory stuff this week, my son had some respiratory stuff and he did a couple of the steam pots. And then before he went to bed on Tuesday night or Monday night, I took this and I rubbed it all over his chest. I put eucalyptus on his chest and then I just put some breathe on. I didn't do any compresses or anything. That's just how I sent him to bed. And he woke up on Tuesday morning almost completely done with his congestion. So it was just like a really, so just remember, like we're talking a lot about liver channel today and like digestive stuff and hormones, but there's so many uses for castor oil. So for like that respiratory aches, pains, all of those things, and just have fun. Like you remember, we're on a journey. Like we don't have to get it all figured out today. Like that's I think sometimes when we get frustrated because we think we have to get all of this stuff figured out today. And it's really about finding one more thing like find one thing that feels right to you and add it into your routines. And like I said, sometimes on the emotional side, it's just the awareness and the intention with what you're doing something. Doing this because I love my body, not because I hate it. Right. Um, yeah, the patches. Yeah, some of these are like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, Dina and we're like, let's just make things simple, right? How many of you have an old t-shirt laying around that you can just soak with some castor oil? Or, I mean, I've got a bin of fabric down in the basement that I haven't used, and I know I have some flannel in there that I can just make it super easy. Okay, so that's what we've got for today. And I said there was going to be prizes and some super fun stuff. So what's next? So most of you are already in doTERRA. You have doTERRA in your home and you are loving all the products. Maybe you've already brought castor oil into your home and now you're just like, hey, how do I actually use this stuff that I have in my home? And so you know the drill. You know how to go into your account, right? You know how to go into your account. You know how to set up your rewards order. You know how to change it. You know how to do all the things. And so my gift for everybody for listening to this castor oil class today and commenting and being engaged, this also includes you that are listening to the recording. So when you're done with the recording, make sure you hit complete in the course area so I know you listened to it. Once you're done, anybody that places a 100 PV rewards order this month is going to get a free gift from me. Okay? So what you have to do is you have to, and I'm going to send this out in the email, you have to email me that you placed your order and I'm going to send you a gift. And if you do a 200 PV order, you're going to get a bonus gift. So 2 gifts. Okay. I don't care if you are brand new, if you haven't ordered for a while, anybody that does 100 PV gets a free gift, right? How does that sound? Pretty cool, right? I don't know what I'm going to send you because I just thought of this morning. I'm like, I want to reward you. I have so much gratitude for all of you that are showing up. We had almost 100 people register for this workshop. I know it doesn't work for everybody to be on here live. And I just want to say thank you for doing that and, saying yes to you and learning about your health, learning something and getting curious about a new product and how you can use it and how you can continue your journey in wellness. And so 100 PV, you get a gift, 200 PV, you get 2 gifts. What it is, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be a big, giant surprise. But thank you so much for joining me. If you do not have essential oils in your home, we're going to get some essential oils in your home because these tools are just like top level. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I've used a lot of tools, a lot of wellness products, and I love how doTERRA just keeps it simple, right? We keep it simple. We keep it foundational. We're not chasing quick fixes. We're keeping it real and we're keeping it simple and we're giving it back to true healing and learning how to, work in the way our bodies work. And so if you do not have essential oils in your house, there will be a link you can click or you get back to me or the person that invited you to this workshop. And we are going to help you bring essential oils into your home. And guess what? You get the bonuses too. And so we're going to give you those bonuses as well. We're going to give you some free gifts for showing up today and loving all of this. But I think my closing words today are just like, hey, have fun with this. Play with your wellness, learn new things every single day. And don't be afraid to, just try something new and make sure you reach out too. Reach out if you're, you don't have to just come to one of these workshops if you want our support. We always are here to answer questions and give you some different solutions. And so with that, I am going to actually stop the recording, but if anybody has any additional questions, we'll do a little live Q&A as well.